on one of my other videos, I talked about the saltwater filtration system, and there's also this street water or dirty water filtration system. Of course, there's problems with oil and other kind of contamination, and that we had to monitor that as well. But basically, the problem was New York City. Where are we going to get the water for it? We wanted to have a city in New York and some of these other cities, but it's like, where are you going to get the water for it? Like, those people need like 17 million gallons of water a day or something like that. It was, they calculated the amount of water usage, and they're like, it's a river. Like, where are we gonna get the water? We're expecting a population of like 150 million people, and where are we gonna get the water? There's no water, and so we had this big issue of where are we gonna get the water. So, what I think, like I said, what I think we did is we did a filtration system where it goes down into these big caves, and like all the street sewers and stuff go down into this big cave, and basically, and we might have used some of the old mines, some of the open pit mines for that. We'd, fill them up with stuff. And then, but I think people were dumping garbage in them or something like that at some point in time or something. And then it was kind of messing up the water system. But basically, what it is a filtration system where the water goes down and then goes into these big catacombs. And then it goes through this granite rock wall with silt and sand in front of it. Different aggregates, I think, where we have a small and then a medium and then there's something like that. Anyway, something to where the salt and the impurities will get trapped by the silt barrier. Anyway, it was a gigantic system. It was like huge. It was like 30-foot wide pipeline or 60-foot wide hole, and then going down into these like 1,700-foot wide. It's on the plan somewhere. You can look at it for the city. It's like this gigantic, like 4 tubes go down, and it goes down in this giant room that's like 1,500 feet wide by about half mile long, and then it drops down like 5 stages, and then it goes into this giant room. And like Nixon and JFK and some of the other people were like, "What are you building down there?" And it's like, it's a water filtration system. It's where the city gets the water. I don't know, where are we going to get the water? Rain? Anyway, it doesn't rain that much there. So it's like, well, where are we going to get the water? And it's like, well, this is what we're going to do. So the storm sewers, so we get some from the ocean, I think, and it goes down into these giant things, and then there is some from the street drains. The street drains don't really work out that good because people dump oil down them and all kinds of stuff down them, so there's clogged up the works a lot. So. And these things are kind of hard. Like, I think they did have big stone barriers or something we could roll across, and they would seal the pipelines, and then you could drain it, and then you could go in there and clean it out. And anyway, I did some big giant water filtration systems for whole cities, so I knew about them, and I paid for them too. I mean, like, it's like $1,700 or $2,000 or equivalent of like $1 million or $1 billion basically a day, but. Pretty much, this gigantic mine with like that's like 1,700 feet across, and then granite stone blocks, and then intermixed stone. And we tested it out. It was a theory of mine. I was like, well, we'll try it, but I mean, I didn't know if it was really going to work myself. I was like, well, it might work. Anyway, we tested it out, and they said that it kind of worked or worked good enough. I don't know. So we were doing it because we had this serious water problem. And so anyway, though, but the city gets the water from deep underground, and I forget how it worked. Anyway, it used like some sort of power system or something, some way to force the water up, or maybe we've done a lot of things over the years, like even where we go down to like a hot point, like down 300 feet, and then it creates steam pressure and it runs a pump, and then that forces the water up or something like that. I mean, we've done a lot of crazy things. I mean, over the years, trying out different things. But like I said, the Germans were incredible engineers. They did a lot of really cool stuff. So and I paid them, and we worked together. So it's where New York gets its water or something like that, or one of these great big cities is actually like a giant underground granite rock mine or something like that. It goes down through these systems, and then it goes into this giant, huge thing that's like 3,000 feet underneath the city. There's like this giant catacomb And it's this big water thing, and then they suck the water from there, and then they use it for the farms or the water or the toilets or the drinking water. So anyway, and I think nowadays they use more of a, I think the system might have gotten clogged up or might have been not cost effective, so they switched over to more of a water thing. But I think my system is actually the one that they get most, like 80% of their water or 60% of their water from is my system. And then they just do like 10% of clean water on top of it or something like that to kind of like make it cleaner, because my system might be a little bit salty. I think my system, there's still a little bit of salt in it, and what they do now is they use the toilet, some other water or something like that, and they purify it and clean it. Because I also did steam water too, where I boiled water and then it would dump out into a cistern that was clean. Anyway, I don't know. It was a long time ago, so. But yeah, anyway, water filtration systems for like New York or one of these big cities, a couple of the big cities, like there's no rivers by there. There's no water. So it's like, well, you need water. So anyway, so we were taking water from the ocean and taking some street drain water and cleaning it and stuff like that. And of course, E. coli or some sort of bacteria got in there and was a problem. We had to use bleach and some other stuff and steam to clean it out one time. Where we were getting like E. coli or something was building up inside there, so we had to go in there and dump bleach tablets or something like that and bleach the whole place or something like that and clean it up. There might have been crabs. I think one of them, they found shellfish or crabs or something. They went down there like, it's a crab farm. Yeah, I actually did have a deep underground mine crab farm actually a long time ago. And one time they went down there and I think they were like, it's a crab farm. What the hell? It's like, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, you mean my 3,000-foot crab farm? Yeah, like giant crabs. They were only like a foot across or something like that. Like giant crabs, my God. Anyway, but yeah, I think some of the people stumbled across one of my old crab farms, because back in the 1500s or 1600s, I had this deep underground crab farm. Because the heat from there's a volcanic level down there or something like that, where it got down there really deep, like 4,000 feet underground, and the heat would come up. And so we started a crab farm, and they actually have pictures of it. They show the crab cages coming out of the water. It's this great big huge room, like hundreds of feet across, and it was a giant crab farm. And it had like different levels or something like that, where the crabs could crawl down, then crawl back up and stuff like that. Or something, it's a giant room, I forget exactly, but they have pictures of it, like in black and white, you know, where they show the crab cages coming up the side walls. And it was a giant crab farm under the ground. Anyway, they would feed the crabs and stuff like that, and clean crab. Anyway, like 1,700 or 1,500 or 1,200 or something like that, I had an underground crab farm, and it actually did really well. And they so you didn't have to ship crabs like to New York. You could just have crabs there. It's like, I got the crabs there right now. No, jokes. Anyway, but yeah, and real live crab farms and also oyster farms too. I did a lot of artificial farming and did really well too. And then canning facilities and stuff like that. So there are a couple deep, because I had all these mines. So it's like, well, what else am I going to do with them? Crab farm. So we did crab farming and stuff, you know, just to pay the bills and stuff like that, and just to keep a little bit of money flowing and find some use for them. So there's pictures of all that.